Okay. Wait.
Oh, flip. Okay, so let's just get into this. So what is depression? Well, depression is persistent feelings of sadness and helplessness, a decrease of interest in activities you've once enjoyed, decrease or increase of appetite, weight gain, and loss, sleeping too much or little, restlessness, fatigue, and excessive feelings of guilt or worthlessness. So other symptoms of depression also include suicide attempts, multiple thoughts of death or suicide, and a difficulty concentrating or making decisions. So what are a couple external depression triggers? Well, external depression triggers can be extreme bullying in some cases, death of a loved one, divorce, and moving. So what are some internal depression triggers? Well, some internal depression triggers include pregnancy, postpartum depression, I think it's called. It's basically after you give birth, your body's so used to producing so many hormones that you pretty much go on this crash and you don't like your kid. Menopause, which if you don't know what that is, go ask your mom, and puberty. So what are a couple depression facts? Well, actually, the average age for depression is 32 years old. Approximately 14% of adults in the United States suffer from depression, and approximately 7 million, and that's like 7 million people. So what the heck is the stereotype for depression? Well, often people who have depression or suffer from mental illness, they're often labeled as, the emo. So the stereotype is like the emo kid who's sitting in the back of the corner, like of the classroom or whatever, but in reality, it's basically everyone. So, like, say a person could seem really happy on the outside. Inside, you don't know what's going on in their head. There are, like, cases where, like, kids will act up in school, like they'll be a class clown, but they'll be doing that to hide their depression or mental illness. So yeah, that's basically it. So what's the difference between anxiety, stress, and chronic stress? Well, anxiety is stress that is basically where you're anxious for no like probable reason. So the long-term effects of anxiety left untreated is basically when you have weight gain, you can suffer from like weight gain, your hippocampus structure will break down, your frontal lobe chemicals will get imbalanced. You can also have heart failure if this goes on untreated, but thankfully the brain can regenerate the cells that are inside that have been broken down because of anxiety and the constant stress. So let's break the stereotype. So the stereotype of the kid who has anxiety is like that nerd who has the asthma inhaler and, it's like that. But in reality, once again, it's everyone. And that's just how life works. So what is PTSD? Well, PTSD, whatever, we don't need that. So PTSD is basically a form of anxiety. So when a traumatic event happens, say you were kidnapped at some point, or you were sexually assaulted, you will develop a form of anxiety. So basically what happens is that your amygdala gets like, so your amygdala chemicals, so the chemicals in your amygdala, let's just like, okay, let's start with the amygdala. So what is the amygdala? Well, the amygdala basically, hold on. Well, so the amygdala, the amygdala is basically the part of your brain that stores emotional memories, and so what causes it? So people with PTSD have like hyperactivated amygdala, and activated medial PFC. So what is the amygdala? Let's get to that. So it's a small almond shape. Okay, hold on. This is great. This is how you should all do your TED Talks, kids. Alright. So what is the amygdala? Well, it's a small almond-shaped structure located in your frontal lobe that's basically in the center of your brain. Temporal lobe. It detects threats in your environment, like the fight or flight system, and it activates it responds to any perceived threat, and activates the nervous system to deal with the threat and stores new emotional related memories. So what is the prefrontal cortex? Well, the prefrontal cortex is basically located in the front of your brain, and it's responsible for attention and awareness, impulse control, and initiates conscious voluntary behavior, and determines significant emotional events, regulates emotions, and inhibits or corrects the dysfunctions going on inside the brain. So let's talk about what happens when a person is having a PTSD attack. Well, basically they have an anxiety attack, and what will happen is the person will relive the situation, the traumatic situation that they were in. So say a war veteran was on the field and was nearly killed, and they were fighting, because that's what soldiers do. So they will think that they're in that situation again, and some people actually shut down. You'll see them go blank.
All right, we're gonna pause. How much more do you have?
A lot.
A lot more. Okay, so we're gonna pause. We'll have to finish this up tomorrow. Rebecca.
Yeah.
Come see me for a sec.